the Happy Good Time Variety Show, featuring singing and dancing, folksy musings, strange new hobbies, letters from viewers, other random nonsense. And now, here's your host, Chad Stockslinger.
Oh, hello, and welcome to the Happy Good Time Variety Show. My name's Chad Stockslinger, and I'm delighted to have you with me here tonight. You know, this is the fourth installment of our program, and it's always been my pleasure to be able to offer you a peek into my strange little world. As tonight's proceedings unfold, I would encourage you to offer any small kindness that you might. As you can tell, we have zero budget, and it would be my great honor to continue to be able to bring you this highfalutin entertainment, the likes of which we've never known. It's going to take some lefts and some rights, some ups and downs, and by the end of it, who knows where we'll wind up. But until then, I say let's stick it out together and hope for the best. And without further ado, what do you say we get this party started? With a snatch of a tune. Ha-ha! You know, I'd like to begin this evening's broadcast with a song that I'm particularly proud of, that I had the great pleasure of writing with a dear old friend many years ago. It goes a little something like this. I don't know that I've earned all you've given to me. When I close my eyes, your face is all I see. You might have warned me about it the first time we kissed, how your love would turn my heart to bitterness. Love you too much? Did I hold your hand for too long? Is there a way that I could change all that I've done wrong? And though both my eyes were open, I still somehow missed how your love would turn my heart to bitterness. Now I can't believe that it's taken so long to find out my heart would really have to be so strong. Oh, now I sit here thinking as the days pass on by, not lying in bed still dreaming of you right here by my side. Whoa, whoa. If I was not the one for you, then tell me, why did you stay? For now I can remember with the sweet taste of each kiss how there was more than just a hint of bitterness. Now I can remember with the sweet taste of your kiss how there was more than just a hint of your bitterness. Yes, it was now. Well, thank you very much. And all that aside, at this point in the show, we're very excited to bring on our very first sponsor for the evening. It's a company I don't know too much about, but I hear they've got some wonderful new products. And without further ado, I present to you the words from the kind folks at the Yadco Corporation. Take it away, fellas. Ha-ha!
From Yadco Products, we proudly introduce our latest innovation, the Teaching Music from Home Kit. Are you a music instructor who's been struggling to teach during these troubled times? Well, do we have the solution for you? It's the Yadco Teaching Music from Home Kit. Simply install our easy-to-use app on your laptop or tablet and away we go. Just check out all these exciting features. Easy call-up access allows you to connect to students in a flash.
I'm right here. Can you see me? Can you see me?
Enhanced sound that makes the student sound 10 times louder than you.
Right up where we left off and...
I'm on page 15!
Oh no!
Built-in pitch manipulator makes every instrument magically in
It sounds
tune.
maybe a little... I think it's flat. It must be this app. I don't understand it.
Automatic intermittent blackout mode.
Right. Now, I like what you're doing there. If we could just kind of watch out for that C sharp, I think we'll have... Well, now, hold on. Where'd you go? Hold on.
Play classic cartoons for your students to keep them interested.
No, Naomi. Oh, no. I need for you to look at the page. Now, just flats that we talked about. Can you hear me? Are you watching cartoons? Is it the cartoons again?
I like the characters more than you.
Order today and we'll throw in complimentary flask for secret hooch sipping. Our patented sound boosting earplugs.
Is this okay?
Yes, it's a little loud, but...
Tissues for happy weeping.
No, look away from the cartoon characters. They're not that good. No, hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, I can't even...
Your days of feeling worthless are finally
I'm
over
losing
with
my
the
mind.
Yadco Teaching Music from Home Kit. What are you waiting for? Order now.
Thanks for nothing, Yadco. Oh, well, that commercial, if anything, revealed that this sponsorship might not be the best idea after all. But I'm so glad that you stuck around, because we've now reached my favorite portion of the program. Of course, I'm speaking of story time. Yes, story time, where we dig back through the dark recesses of time and space and try to discover what was any of this all about. Tonight's edition of Story Time is extra special to my heart, as we look back through the mist of time to celebrate the life of our recently lost friend, Little Richard, a true inspiration, the self-proclaimed architect of rock and roll, and though self-proclaimed, rarely disputed. If Little Richard could have said it better himself, it was, "I'm not conceited, I'm convinced." Well, this particular recounting of events falls on a special night so many years ago. The year was 1998. I still have the ticket stub. September 19th, in the balmy, unforgiving heat of a Texas summer. Some friends of mine and I had gone out to the Lone Star racetrack to see one of the oldies fests that they used to have back in the day. And this bill was super loaded. We had Chuck Berry, the Everly Brothers, the Buckinghams, and nestled right in the midst of all the chaos was Little Richard himself, who emerged with his hair high and mighty, his suit spangledy and sparkly, as the sun of the merciless Texas heat beat down upon his make-up face. And there he was, about a quarter of the way into the show, drenched with sweat, pounding away mercilessly at his piano, his band rocking hard, a horn section the likes of which you've never known. And out of nowhere, out of the right side of the stage, emerges a strange, dark, shadowy figure, dressed from head to toe in black latex. He looked nothing if not like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction. And as he slowly danced his way across the stage, I suddenly became aware that no one in my proximity seemed to even be aware of this strange man. And he circled the stage, and as I watched, with growing fear, the man got closer and closer to Little Richard. And as he gently approached him from behind, gyrating like some wild lunatic, I couldn't help myself but to yell out, "Little Richard, look out! He's behind you!" Well, Little Richard didn't seem to pay him any mind. And it wasn't until the man got right up next to him that Little Richard turned, his face glistening in the light of the day, and gave the man a big thumbs up. It was at that point that I realized Little Richard's even more strange than I ever could have imagined. And though he finished out the set without much incident, and the man dressed head to toe in sweaty latex drifted off into our collective nonsense, it was that day that I realized Little Richard is more God than man, able to approach even the most absurd situation with a casual resilience that we have yet to see matched. So I salute you, Little Richard, not only for your lifetime of quality entertainment, but for your ability to carry on a show while being approached by a sweaty, strange man in latex. I'll never forget it, and I thank you for it. And you know, I gotta say, it's moments like these, whenever we reach the end of our story time, that I can't help but feel just a little funky. Now, what do you say to that? What do you say we get a little funky with it? Ha-ha! Whoa, as I live and breathe. That was quite a workout. What do you say we cool things down here with a mopey song of old? This is a song that I wrote with a very dear friend of mine some time ago. I'm super excited to share it with you tonight. If you'll bear with me, it goes a little something like this. You go left and I'll go right. We'll walk till we're out of sight. I know I'm not supposed to mind. You're with me in the meantime. They won't tell me, but I know that when you're going where you go, I guess I'm not supposed to mind. 'Cause this won't be the last time. So you go left and I'll go right, and we'll walk till we're out of sight. And if you decide to change your mind, I didn't make me hard to find. your mind. I didn't make me hard to find. They won't tell me, but I know that when you're going where you go, I know I'm not supposed to mind. 'Cause this won't be the last time. I guess I'm not supposed to mind. 'Cause this won't be the last time. Well, I certainly thank you for that indulgence. Who knows what lies in store, but let's see, shall we? Oh, hello there. I'm so glad that you decided to stick around, because at this portion of the program, I'm thrilled to introduce you to an exciting new hobby that I've recently discovered. You know, while we're all stuck at home, everyone's scrambling to find fun new activities to pass the time. Well, as you probably noticed by now, my flesh is quite pale, and my skin is wont to burn mercilessly in the cruel, unforgiving rays of the midday sun. So, I'd like to introduce you to something that I've been getting into of late, and I like to call it gardening at night. Now, the trick of gardening at night, as you can imagine, is being able to see without any light. So it's quite dark. Anywhere you go. And so you can see I've got my plants here, and I'm just going to try to give them just a little light tilling. Okay, and we're going to really get in there and kind of till the soil. Here's a new planter that I've got, and I'm going to try to put something in here. So I'm going to till it up really good here. And as you can see, I've got my seeds that I got at the old garden place, and I'm just going to put those right in there in the pot. And that's going to be that. And then we're going to come over here. And you know what they say about gardening? It's always best to water your plants at night. Apparently the sun is all too likely to absorb the water before it even really gets into the soil. So I'm just going to give it a good generous splashing here. And we'll just hope for the best with that. And then, oh, looky here. Now, this is a very exciting thing. I've gone to the old gardening store, and I've got us a planter here. And we're going to put in our new plant. Okay, now this is an old bush here, and this is going to really come together. I can just feel it whenever we get our soil going. Now, it's important, as gardening can be quite an expensive affair, not to waste anything. So even in the dark, you want to be very careful to get that soil where it needs to go. And then, of course, as you can imagine, a little extra watering as we get our plant going. Now, I can only trust that everything's, oh no, it's over here now. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Well, who am I kidding? What a worthless endeavor. What kind of fool would think that they could garden in the pitch black of the endless night? Oh, I don't think I'll ever get it right.
Don't give up, friend.
Oh, who goes there? It's too dark to see. Who is that?
It's me, Mr. Gigglepuss. I can see you're having a hard time here with your night garden.
It's true. It's too dark. I can't see anything. I don't think I'll ever get it right.
There, pal. It's important to never give up on your dreams. Always be reaching for the stars.
Hey, those are wise words. Thanks, Mr. Gigglepuss.
Well, sure. Take the case of me and my third wife, for example. She up and left me 2 months ago, and without even a word of farewell. I mean, sure, she would get on to me about my drinking, and yeah, she knew about me catting around with the kiddies, and yeah, she was none too pleased with my poorly advised investment deals. When she split town, she took all of my savings, the kids too.
Oh my.
I know, right? And they weren't even my kids. Anywho, I decided then and there not to give up on what's most important, and I've never looked back.
Hey, those are wise and comforting words, Mr. Gigglepuss. Thank you very much.
Sure thing, mister. Now, why don't you go ahead and hand over that wallet?
Oh, Mr. Gigglepuss, I thought you were my friend.
Think again, weirdo. Now hand it over, or things are gonna get ugly up in here.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know. I think I must have left it in my other pants.
Quick.
Oh, here you
Come
go,
on,
buddy.
right here.
There you go. Yeah, right there, huh?
So long, sucker. Good luck with your gardenias.
I guess the lesson learned from that experience, never trust a puppet while trying to garden at night. And I dare say we learned that the hard way. Oh, yes. Hello. Boy, that escalated pretty quick. But now that we're back here in the warm confines of the guest house, I'm very excited to bring you tonight's cocktail. And of course, I'm talking about that world-class favorite, the mint julep. That's right. It originated here in the southwest of the United States in the 18th century and was first introduced in literature in a book published by John Davis in 1803. Where it was described as a dram of spirituous liqueur steeped in mint, taken by Virginians of a morning. So without further ado, let's get down to it, shall we? All right, first off, we're going to add our sugar. I would say this is about 1 teaspoon, maybe a little more, but that's okay. And then we're going to add our mint leaves. Now, I use only the finest locally harvested mint. As you can see, it's very leafy and ready to go. Yes, you can really get the essence of that mint already just from the fragrance, I should say. Now we're going to pour in about 2 teaspoons of water. Okay, and we'll just kind of give it the old 1-2, like so. Yes, and now a very important part. We want to add our crushed ice. Now, crushed ice, for some reason or another, is always associated with the mint julep. And as you can see, I'm going to add it to the glass in a very fanciful fashion using my tongs, and whenever that gets old, you just kind of give it the old 1-2. So now comes the most crucial part. We're going to muddle our mint. Now you can see I've added the ice first so that we can already get a little bit of muddling just from the movement of the crunchy ice. Now, if you were standing where I was, you'd be getting a good essence of that mint. Oh, it burns the nostrils. But let's see what's next, shall we? Ah, yes, the bourbon. Now, I'm a man of simple means, so whenever I reach for a good quality bourbon for a mixed drink, I reach for Old Overholt. It's good for drinking and good for socializing. So let's see, we're going to put about 2 ounces of this business in here and give it the old 1-2, yes? Okay, well, that's about it, right? And there we go. And now we're going to mix it up here with a straw. For some reason, a straw is also a key element of the mint julep. Okay, so we've got a good mix here, and we'll want to give it some garnish with a little more mint, the old 1-2, I should say. And let's see what she tastes like, shall we? Now that's Southern goodness. And you know who else enjoyed the mint julep? Country music hit-making sensation George Jones, who while out on the road might enjoy just a whiskey and a beer like any other guy, but when in his leisure time back home, he'd take the extra time to do it right, with a mint julep out on the back porch. And he had so much trouble with the boozing, they called him No-Show Jones for all the shows he missed. But the most famous story of George Jones is that one fateful day when his wife had hidden all the keys to all the cars to keep old George from riding into town to get more hooch. Well, not to be deterred, he found a way. Looking out the back porch, there in the midday sun, he saw his riding lawnmower, the keys glistening in the sunlight. Well, the story is fairly legendary amongst rock's historians, but I tell you, we here at the Happy Good Time Variety Show have a very special treat for you. We've spared no expense, and tonight I'm proud to bring you the actual audio from that fateful day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to bring you Mr. George Jones, drunk as a skunk, riding a lawnmower into town. Take it away, George.
Well, I'll be. It would appear that I've done and gone and drank up all the hooch. Step right up. Been drinking for days, but who'd have thought it'd come to this? I reckon I ought to head on into town and fetch me a fresh batch of that sweet booze. If drinking don't kill me. Now, where on earth did I leave the keys to the... Now, wait a minute. Tammy must have hid the keys to all the cars. No, no, no! This simply will not do! What is that I see up on yonder hill? Gleaming in the glow. Why, it's my old riding lawnmower. Who's gonna fill their shoes? Keys in the ignition. It's glistening in the midday sun. Well, it'll take me an hour and a half to get there, but get there I will. She thinks I still can.
Come on now, George.
What have I done?
You were drunk.
I am not.
Yes, you are.
No, sir.
Get in the car, George.
I will not.
Dang it, George. Now come on.
I need four walls around me.
Oh, yes. Welcome back. You know, a few people know this about me, but in my off time, I enjoy giving tours of slow-moving... Oh, hello, yes. Enjoy the day. I enjoy giving tours of slow-moving rivers and marshy bogs, much like what you see here. And I figured what better opportunity than to dig in and respond to some of our viewer mail. Okay? Let's see what we have here. Dear Chad, big fan of the show. I've been stuck in my apartment for months. Every morning, my balcony is overrun with birds. It was charming at first, but now they're driving me crazy. How can I get them to respectfully buzz off? Signed, Bye Bye Birdie. Well, I tell you, people have been struggling with this for years, and they might try all sorts of different tricks, like wind chimes or reflective tape. But what I recommend is an entirely different solution. I'm talking about the Red Ryder BB gun. Oh, now heaven forbid, I would never condone shooting an innocent bird. What I suggest to you is setting up an elaborate array of plastic-filled water bags, just like you see in the patios of Mexican-style restaurants. And when those pesky birds come around, you take out old Sugar Bush here, and you just shoot those holes into the bags, showering the birds with water. And if that doesn't work, I think we know what to do next. Am I right? Well, thanks for asking. Well, let's see what else we have here. Okay. All right. Dear Chad, what's up, homie? I'm a second-year college student up here at North Texas. My roommate is constantly eating hot dogs and keeps getting mustard on my futon. How do I get these pesky stains out of my futon? Signed, Biff. Well, Biff, I think we're all familiar with the old tried-and-true technique of white vinegar and baking soda. Well, but what I suggest to you is the missing element of steel wool. Now, first you lay down your white vinegar. Then you lay on a little baking soda. Then you get that steel wool and you just dig it right in there. Oh, you want to grind it into the fibers of that futon, because there's nothing worse than an unsightly mustard stain. The end result should be a big hole right in the middle of the futon, to where every time you sit in it, the stuffing just seems to be puffing out, in front of guests and God and country. But I tell you, it's better than that nasty old mustard stain, thanks to your pal. Well, I hope that helps you out, and thanks for asking. Well, I think that just about does it for our letters from our viewers, and I can't thank you enough for the... Well, now hold on now. What the blue blazes? Well, that sounds to me like some sort of jungle-style gorilla. I don't even... Out here on the lake, Oh, well, who knew there was gorilla milk? Thank you, buddy. Oh, boy. Let's see what we have here. Hey, I'm watching your show right now, and for the love of all that is holy, would you please tell me what any of this is supposed to mean? Confused man. Well, Mr. Man, as we've said before, this train has gone off the rails a long time ago, and there's no telling where it's headed. But if you'll stick with me, maybe we'll make it out on the other side. Let's find out, shall we? Ha-ha!
Are you lonely? Finding it difficult to connect? Having trouble meeting mates? Well, do we have the solution for you? It's the Yadco Online Dating from Home Kit. Simply install our easy-to-use app on your tablet or laptop and let's see what happens. Get a load of these exciting features. Reasonably manageable swiping interface makes it easy to connect. Absurdly loud alerts let you know when there's a new message.
Jesus Christ, I'm here. I'm here.
Automatic intermittent blackout mode.
No, I'm feeling good too. What? No, hold on. Why would they even have this feature?
Powerful new scratch and sniff feature. Awkward interruptions from our patented mom simulator.
Oh, yeah, no, that's very sexy, yes. Oh. Oh, my God. Oh. It's my mother. How did they even get her voice? Oh, my God. Oh. Okay, shut up. Oh.
A mild buzzing sensation to replicate the magic of that first kiss.
No, it shocked me.
Order today and you'll also receive complimentary Yadco blanket for romantic virtual picnics, a fancy hanky for old-timey grand gestures, and of course, tissues for happy weeping. You are just a click away from true love with the Yadco Online Dating from Home Kit. You've got no dignity left to lose. Order now.
Oh, hello, and welcome back. You know, after much consideration, I think we need to rethink our sponsorship. That company is clearly a disaster. But in the meantime, I'm so glad you chose to join me here in the warm confines of my boudoir. Tonight at the Happy Good Time Variety Show, we're very excited to bring you something that's particularly special. It was discovered while spring cleaning in an old abandoned closet. And I'm talking, of course, of this magical phone, which affords us the opportunity to dial any number and instantly get in contact with someone beyond the grave. Nobody knows where this bit's gonna go, but let's give it a try, shall we? Why, hello? Hello, this is Chad Stocksliger from the Happy Good Time Variety Show. Who's this?
Let it all hang out with the beautiful little Richard from down in Macon, Georgia. I am the king of rock and roll. Ow, ow, ow!
Oh, man, my hero. Well, you seem to be in great spirits, all things considered.
I love to put it on. I love to shine. I was made up lighter and brighter.
Well, that sounds about right. Can you tell me the last thing you remember from here on Earth?
I was walking through the airport the other day, and a man took one look at me and dropped his cup of coffee.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, would you mind sharing with our viewers some reflections of your early days? It wasn't always easy, was it?
When I started with the wop bop baloo bop bop and boom, and Pat Boone covered it, I was woo all over the place, and I remember Arthur Goldsberg. He says he'd put my record on the top station, and then here come Pat Boone.
Well, how did that make you feel?
I said, now I gotta do something about it. Now in later years, I thought about it and said it was good, but back then I said, ooh, I can't stand him. But you know, as I got older, I got bolder, and I started rubbing your shoulders.
That's such a great story, Little Richard. Do you have any final words to the world?
I am the creator, the originator, the emancipator. I am the king.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you for everything, Little Richard, and goodbye. Oh. Okay, now that one was one for the books. I think we've got time for one more call. And who can imagine what would happen next? Let's find out, shall we? This is too much fun. Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?
Yes!
Oh, goodness! It's my favorite comedy voice of all time, Mr. Frank Nelson.
Yes! And who might you be?
This is Chad Stockslager, and I'm calling from the Happy Good Time Variety Show.
Oh, yes, I've heard about you.
Oh, really? Well, that's quite an honor.
Why, sure. Your show plays quite prominently up here.
It does?
Oh, yes. It plays on an endless loop on one of those TVs above the urinals in the men's room.
All right. So you made it to heaven. What's it like?
Well, it's peaceful and serene and quiet and dead. Just like an audience watching one of your shows.
Okay, all right, you got me.
Yes. Have you ever thought of switching your program to radio? You would be wonderful at radio.
Radio, huh? Why do you say that?
Why, you have the perfect face for it.
I have a perfect face for radio.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Frank Nelson, everybody.
Yes.
Oh. Well, I should say, that was a devilishly delightful ride. And who would have known that we could expect such untold pleasures when reaching out to those beyond the grave through this mysterious magical phone? Well, if you find that to be exciting, stick around. Who knows what might happen next?
This one goes out to the girl that fell away. She broke my heart. Tell me, what could I say? She never really needed anybody anyway. There's a happiness and there's a price to pay. This one goes out to my most bitter end. She broke my heart, oh, time and time again. But never once did anybody ever think that this could end. Is it possible? It never quite began. All she ever wanted was something to remember. Love she called her very own. Oh, it doesn't matter if you tangle your finger when you know she'd rather go it alone. Oh, go it alone. the girl that fell away. She broke my heart. Tell me, what could I say? She never really needed anybody anyway. Oh, there's a happiness, then there's a hell to pay. Wow, hell to pay.
Hello. You know, some of you might have noticed I've been a little blue of late. While everyone has their reasons for their darker moments, mine is quite specific. You see, my old lady left me not too long ago. And while leaving me with a broken heart, she left more than just that. You see, we had business interests. We had decided some time ago to start a cabaret-style singing duo. And unless you've been in that situation, you don't know the singular torture of attempting to present a cabaret-style singing duo as a solo. But in the sake of transparency, I'd like to present to you now the troubled, sad state of what I've been dealing with. So the show would begin with a lively little number that would go something like this. Who's the gal that I love best? Who makes my heart jump out of my chest? Well, it's you, baby. Oh, now, honey, it's you. Oh, and that's when old Joni would come in with her signature number that used to just drive him wild in the clubs. And it went something like this. I'll be your girl for all seasons, all the year through. I'll be your girl for all seasons, 'cause I love you. Oh boy, the kids would just go nuts over that one. Of course, it was so much better when she did it. Not quite the same when it's just yours truly. But the show would continue as Joni would hop up on the old grand piano and swing her leg over provocatively, and she'd look out at the crowd and go, "Now that's enough out of you." Oh boy, they would just fall on the floor. That was the good stuff. Again, it's a little depressing now, but then we would find ourselves enjoying a little spirited repartee. A little spicy zing-zang this way and that. For example, I might say, "Hey, Joni, how you feeling tonight?" And she'd say, "Well, I feel just fine, but it's this crowd that can go suck an egg." I tried to tell her that showing flagrant contempt for your audience was a bit of a hard sell in the South. But the show would go on, and I might say something like, "Hey, Joni, how about another number?" And she'd say, "How about another number yourself? You know, I've been meaning to say, it's time to break up. I'm young, I need to spread my wings before I wind up hating your guts more than I already do." While it seemed funny at the time, I suppose one could argue that in hindsight, it was loaded with foreshadowing. So I think you can see the sad state of affairs that I've been forced to deal with. Sure, maybe you bring it on yourself, maybe you own as much of it as you can, But at the end of the day, it's still one lonely sad sack sitting on that stage in a simple, depressing blue light, shrouded by an impenetrable cloud of nonsense. You know, we had plans, Joni. We had tours booked. There were places we were going to go out and sing our ridiculous little ditties. And now it's all this. Well, you know, if you remember, just before you walked out the door, we were looking for that big finish, that big spicy number that was going to bring it home. Well, I think I figured it out now, Joni, and if you're out there listening, I want you to hear it loud and clear, and it goes something like this. Nothing matters anymore. All I know is that I miss your face, and I want so badly for you to fill that empty space. Nothing matters anymore when I see you walking out that door, and it feels so familiar. I've been here times before. Oh, Joni, why'd you have to go? You just left me here all alone playing this miserable old piano. It's all I do anymore. I don't even go out. There's nobody to see, nobody to talk to. Just a sad, lonely old weirdo sitting around in his house of misery. And you know, it's only the memories of how it all started. When I look back on the day that we first met, it's only that brings me any sense of hope. It seems like only yesterday, and I remember it oh so well. It was another one of those days when the words won't come and the music's a mess. It's enough to make you wonder why you even bother trying. You remember how easy it used to be in the early days, when all it took was a little twist of chance to lead you to the perfect tune. What now? She was looking for the private eye who used to live next door. I told her he'd been killed in a freak blimp accident the month before, but she didn't seem to hear me. She was desperate for help, and who was I to refuse? I invited her in for a cup of joe, and she laid it all out. Her name was Joan, and she had a sister gone missing, and she couldn't sleep till the case had been cracked. I knew I was just a washed-up songwriter, but there was something about this gal that made my big toe shoot up in my boot. I just had to help her. Next thing I knew, we were on the move, following any clue that could lead to the missing girl. First, we went to the Belmont garage, where the sister had been spotted getting her fluids topped off several weeks back. It was there, after seeing an old fella drop his sandwich, that I first heard her laugh. It was a wild, honking sound that made me feel all tickly inside. Next, we found ourselves at the Heights. It's an upscale eatery known for its well-lit parking. The sister often came here for a light lunch of chicken wings and deviled eggs. No sign of the sister, but I was charmed by just how clumsy Joan was. It's like she'd never worn shoes before. What a klutz. We somehow got lost in the alley behind the old Lakewood Landing. But by that point, we were in our own little world. Every imaginable care seemed to fall away as we drifted aimlessly onward. It was then that I heard her sing, "I'll be your girl for all seasons, all the year through." I'd never heard anything quite so lovely. I knew right at that moment what we had to do. We would form a cabaret-style singing duo and perform at the Balcony Club in Lakewood from 7 to 10 every Tuesday night. The songs would come easy, and the sleepless nights would be filled with laughter and love. We later found out that her sister had been in the same blimp accident that had claimed my neighbor. We were sad, but by then, against all odds, and with that unlikely twist of chance, we had fallen in love, and the world was ours. Oh, hello. Well, that was pretty intense. Well, I should say we've reached the end of our broadcast for the evening. This has been the Happy Good Time Variety Show, and as typically is the case, I'd like to go out on some tender words of great remembrance. I remember when I was a little boy, my father would tell me this story on long drives in the car when he was trying to get me to sleep. It would always start the same way. It would describe a little boy who would be in his backyard playing in the sandbox, who would happen to look up into the sky and see a tiny dot. And as he watched, the dot would grow larger and larger, until soon he realized that it was a giant bird, which then landed in his backyard. And on the back of this giant bird was a tiny little man. And as the young boy jumped out of the sandbox to greet the strange visitor, the little man jumped off the back of the bird. And he said, "Hello, little boy. Would you like to go on an adventure with me?" And of course, the little boy was very excited. And he said, "But I'm so big." And the little man said, "Well, close your eyes and count to 3, and you will be as small as me." And sure enough, he did. And the next thing he knew, he was on the back of that giant winged beast. And they were going up, higher and higher, through the clouds, into the mist of the early morning light. And as they covered the landscape of an impossibly large world, they covered mountains, and they drifted over seas and over the rivers and the valleys. And next thing you knew, it was... And that's as far as I remember the story, because I always fell right to sleep. But there is one thing that my father did for me that I'll never forget. He used to sing this song after we'd get home and if I was still just a little restless. And even now, no matter how crazy things are in the world, it still brings me a moment of peace. If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. Lord, I'm one, Lord, I'm two, Lord, I'm three, Lord, I'm four, Lord, I'm 500 miles from my home. 500 miles, 500 miles, 500 miles, 500 miles. You can hear the whistle blow 500 miles. Not a shirt on my back, not a penny to my name. Lord, I can't go home this alone. can't go this away. If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. Well, I always loved that one. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for taking this little journey with me tonight. As I mentioned before, it's my dearest hope that we can continue on this bizarre little path, no matter what the future holds for us or the rest of the world. And before I go, I would like to take the opportunity to thank some very important folks who came together to make tonight's broadcast possible. Of course, the great Adam Cole, my dear friend Nathan Terry, the lovely Amy Farrell, Whitney Goodyear, Billy Bones, Michelle Draper, David Blood, Brock Rizzi, Sam and Gus Cummins, Wade Kofer, Max Hartman, Eric Neal, Tom Bridwell, Chris Holt, Tia O'Quinn, Farrah Holly, Levon, Callie and Smalls, the Jensens, and the Weltons. And it's with that I look forward to seeing us again real soon. And until then, good day.